10 years.
Goodness me.
Fantastic.
I found out later that those who call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. And I had no comprehension that I was actually born again right there in the ambulance.
But the thing is, at this point, you knew it was God,
Yeah.
but you didn't know if it was Jesus or not, did you?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I got into the hospital. They took my blood pressure, couldn't find a pulse. I was in what they call crashing. You know what I mean? My veins were collapsing. The doctors put in dextrose, antitoxin, anti-serum, and they tried to get a line in. And as they're actually shoving needles into me, I can hear everything they're saying, but I feel myself going away from them. It's like in a third party. I'm watching what's going on, but I realise that I'm losing the battle. I remember the doctor saying that's all we can do for you. Try and keep your eyes open, fight the toxin, fight the tiredness. Now, I'd heard that way back on the road, and I was pretty exhausted. You know what I mean? They
Sure.
lay me down on a bed, and I remember lying there thinking, well, I'll try and keep my eyes open all night. If somehow I can keep awake, maybe I can break the back of it. I got so tired that I took a break. I thought, well, I'll close my eyes for a few moments, have a rest, and then I'll have another, another go at it. As I closed my eyes, I felt an amazing release, a sense that the battle to stay alive had finished.
So the obedience to the voice that said, fight this, you felt a release now. You could just...
Well, I just didn't have any strength left. I knew that I just had no strength left. I had no comprehension when I sighed, breathed out. The doctors came back, saw my eyes shut, and pronounced me clinically dead. I didn't realise any of this. I didn't see any of this. To me, I just closed my eyes and felt a sense that the battle to stay alive had finished. I found myself immediately in a dark place, pitch black, very eerie. I thought, what's happened? Why have the doctors turned the lights out? I began groping around in the darkness, trying to find a light switch, trying to find a bed or some light. Unable to see anything, I thought, well, it's so dark in here, you can't see your hand in front of your face. So just in reflex to that thought, I lifted my hand up towards my face, and my hand seemed to pass straight through it. I thought, that's impossible. You can't miss your face, two hands. I brought both hands up, and both hands seemed to pass through as if there was nothing physically there. I thought, where's my body? As I went for different parts of my human form, I had the sensation of what I am now. You know what I mean? Sitting before
So
you.
you're fully conscious of your...
Fully conscious of that you are a human being, but no longer in physical form. I found out later that when a man dies, his spirit leaves his body, and his physical body is just a clay vessel. It's just goes ash and dust. That your spirit's more real than your physical body.
Which you know now, but as you say, you didn't know that
Well,
then.
I'm standing here going, well, this is real. This is wild. What is this place?
Did it ever occur to you that you were dead, that you could have been dead?
Well, at that point, but I'm suddenly now confronted with the fact that this darkness isn't just physical, it's a spiritual presence. So I'm trying to come to grips with the fact I'm apparently out of my body, and then I feel the most intense evil. It's like movement all around me, a pervasive, cold, eerie presence. I can hear movement, and I can actually sense the presence of something coming towards me, like invisible eyes checking me out. I then hear voices screaming at me from the darkness, yelling at me, telling me to shut up, that I deserve to be here, that I'm in hell. And as I'm standing, I'm going, is this hell? I thought, man, this could actually be hell. You know what I mean? You could be here 5 minutes to 5,000 years. You can't tell time.
Even though you'd prayed the Lord's Prayer
Yeah.
at that time.
But look at Psalm 23.
Yeah.
The Lord is my shepherd, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah.
I shall fear no evil. Now, I had evil all around me, but this evil couldn't touch me. Why? Because just before I died, I made the Lord my personal shepherd in my heart. As I'm standing here, in Acts 26 says, there's a kingdom of darkness, you know what I mean? But I watched a beam of pure white radiance come through the darkness. As this light penetrates through it, it touches me, and it literally touches the entire person of my being and lifts me, translates me out of the darkness up into this glorious white light. As I'm being drawn up, I'm thinking, man, is this real? What's going on? I look behind me, and far beneath me I can see the darkness fading away. I thought, man, this could actually be taking place. Now I'm captivated by the fact that I'm being drawn towards a circular shaped opening far above me. And I find myself drawn into this tunnel of white light. As I'm drawn into it, waves of pure white radiance come issuing forth down in thicker intensity. The first wave of light that touches me gives off a living emotion, like a living light, and I feel comfort. The next wave, pure peace. The next wave, as it's coming, I feel absolute joy sweep through me. I try and see what my hand looks like, because in the darkness I couldn't see my hand in front of my face, and I see my hand transparent, full of light. I'm thinking, that's bizarre. It's like I'm a spirit being. What's happened? As I move out of this tunnel of light, I see the most incredible sight I've ever seen. I see a light that emanates out. I'm looking what appears to be the hub of the universe, the powerhouse, the central core of all life and light. As I'm looking at the central core of it, I'm thinking, what on earth is it? Is there a person in there? Or is this some energy in the cosmos? Is this some focal point of power?
Sure.
As I'm looking at it, I'm captivated by the intensity of the light. A man speaks from the center. The moment I hear his voice, I realize it's the same voice that's been talking to me,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, throughout the evening. He says, Ian, you know what I mean? Do you wish to return?
Like by name.
I thought, he's got my name. Return where? I look back and see a tunnel of darkness. I thought, what is this? Where am I? You know what I mean? I thought, well, I don't know where I am. If I'm out of my body, I wish to return. You know what I mean? And he said, Ian, if you wish to return, you must see in a new light. I thought, light. See the light. Are you the true light? As I asked the question, words began to appear before me. God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all. 1 John 1:5. As I'm reading these words, I'm thinking, is that God? I thought he's completely separate from darkness. I see no shadow, no evil. Could that be Almighty God? I thought, well, he knows my name. It's like his spirit can search the depth of my being. I thought, if that's God, someone's made a mistake. They've brought the wrong person up. I should go back in the darkness where I belong, crawl into some rock. As I began moving back from his radiance, knowing that he could see everything, a wave of pure white light moved towards me. I felt an intense sensation as liquid light entered me and began depositing unconditional, pure love.
Unconditional.
Unconditional. No strings attached. As I felt, now I knew what lust was. You know what I mean? I knew what passion was. Sex. But this was pure love, unadulterated. As it swept into me, I thought, love? How on earth can God love me? Another wave. And I said, God, I've cursed you. I've broken your commandments. More of his love kept coming. I had no comprehension that the fact that in that ambulance when I asked him to forgive me of all my sins, he did. That I stood before him as if I had no sin. As I'm standing there, the waves of this liquid light filled the inner core of my being. My spirit literally felt alive. As I opened my eyes, I was encased in radiance. I thought, I want to step through. I want to see who's this person. As I began entering into this cloud of unbelievable radiance and glory, I moved in, and the first thing I saw was a man, and his face emanated light. It was like it was literally coming out of the pores of his skin. There was such an intense purity and radiance. It was 7 to 10 times brighter than all the light that I'd seen. I could see his hair was white as white. He had arms outstretched to greet me, and he had garments and robes reaching down to his bare feet. As I'm looking at this person, I am overwhelmed by the purity and the intense holiness that is pouring forth from his person into me. It's literally coming into the core of my being. I thought, that must be God. I walked in closer. More and more of this purity and holiness entered, and then I began to get within a few feet of his presence. He moved, not permitting me to see the form of his face. So I had no idea that no man looks upon the face of God and lives. As he moved, behind him was an opening. I began looking through this opening, and I had a glimpse right into eternity. The same life that was upon the presence of God was emanating through this creation.
So you kind of saw heaven.
Well, I saw a whole what looked to be a new earth. God said, I've created a new earth and a new heaven for those who love me. I found out later. So I'm standing here looking at a new earth, crystal clear stream, flowers, trees, every part of it. I'm thinking, I belong here. I was created for this place. I mean, why was I born on this miserable planet? As I'm standing here, I'm going, this is where I belong. I'm home. It's paradise. Just about to enter, and he came back in front of me and said, Ian, do you wish to go in? I thought, yeah, I want to go back. He said, or do you want to go back? I said, well, I don't want to return. And he didn't move. I said, I had no one to return for. He still didn't move. I looked back, and right behind me was my mum. My mum's still alive. Clear vision of my mother. And as I saw her, I realized that there was one person who loved me. I thought if I stepped into heaven, my mother would not know I prayed. She'd have no clue that I gave my life to Jesus in the ambulance. She'll think I went to hell. I said, God, I want to go back.
Right.
I look back again.